So, folks, we have to talk about the Iran war because it turns out Donald Trump has already lost it and it's over. Donald Trump just doesn't know it yet. And you might be thinking, well, that's clearly going to mean that there's more attacks are going to happen. And yes, that is the case. There is going to be more fire exchanged over the course of this. But a news story dropped earlier today I think changes a whole lot of how we are to interpret what is happening with Iran. And many of you may be aware that there's been talk about, the United States is depleting the, Interceptor stockpile, and that's bad, but, our military says we can keep going, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Well, a news story dropped on CNN earlier today that indicates we can't, in fact, keep going indefinitely because almost 80% of interceptors for a key missile defense system are depleted, according to sources inside the administration. The reason this is a big deal is because the only reason the United States military has been able to operate with impunity against Iran is because our ships and our military assets are defended by advanced, air defense systems that are able to shoot down missiles, drones, etc. However, those things only work so long as they have interceptors to provide ammunition. And those interceptors are highly advanced and difficult to produce. And it turns out that we can't actually build them as fast as Iran is making us burn through them. And the problem here is that if we run out, and I want to make sure you all understand, if you have depleted 80% of the stockpile, what happens here is that American soldiers start dying. And not just like a little dying, like a lot dying. And also soft targets start getting hit and ships start getting sunk. And all of that sounds bad, but I want to remind you all that there's also the logistical problem of getting resupplies to the different places that are using these, which in turn means, not every air defense system is going to have access to the remaining 20% of this stockpile. What I'm trying to say here is that gives a far more reliable timeline for how this is going to go. Because also, the US military doesn't want to hit zero on the stockpile because the US military needs that stockpile to be accessible to other places and other military installations around the globe, not just with Iran, right? And so, all of that to say, we lost the Iran war already.
New ears. Let's all send our energy to Michigan. Bunnies are good luck after all.
It's true. White Knight, thank you for the $25 dono. Very much appreciated. But yeah, I mean, effectively, America is vulnerable. Our military installations are vulnerable. Our allies who rely on us to arm the missile defense systems and air defense systems that we have given them or installed in their countries are vulnerable. Honestly, I feel like we lost since day one. Well, that's the reason even George W. Bush, one of the dumbest presidents to ever serve in the office, even he said, no, we're not going to do that, because it's obviously a bad idea, right? It's just, on the face of it, a terrible, terrible idea. I guess what I'm trying to say here is that Donald Trump, on some level, knows that if troops start dying in high quantities, in large numbers, the American public does not have the stomach to absorb that. There's no compelling reason for us to be there. And when Trump also knows, because he has a little lizard brain that allows him to intuit what will or won't be popular among the base, even his base is not going to accept, infinite dead soldiers,
Gender affirming care, I hear you say?
I mean, yeah, we haven't even touched on the fact that they're trying to implement mandatory testosterone therapy for soldiers. But all of that is now leading to the sudden ceasing of attacks against Iran, because Donald Trump knows we're low, and if we run out, it gets exponentially worse for our soldiers and for him politically. He can't survive that, and he knows that. And so, yeah, like exactly, Ivan Holmes. Like he's perfectly willing and able to send 25 people, 100 people to their deaths. He doesn't give a shit about that. But if we lose a fucking aircraft carrier, if we start losing ships that get sunk, if we start losing military bases in the Middle East, it starts to, even rock his power base. All of what I'm trying to say here is that makes it a bit simpler to understand what's happening, which is that there is no pathway to victory here for Donald Trump. We have this dire situation playing out in Iran, and the Iranians know that America's in a terrible spot. They know that all they have to do is wait. That's all they have to do. And every day that goes by, their bargaining position gets stronger. Every night that is spent bombing Iranian military installations spread out across the entire country only makes their bargaining position stronger, because it means fewer interceptors. It means a more vulnerable US military. I gotta be honest here, it is one of those things where there's no pathway out, and that would, on first blush, seem like a good thing, because there's really only one thing left to do for a sane person, and that is to back down, to go home, and negotiate an agreement,
when
and then
pretending to be Trump.
That's it.
But your wit is a hindrance.
Indeed, anime sidekick gal. The problem here is that a sane person would just take their hit, would take the hit to their pride, would take the hit to their dignity, would acknowledge the defeat, and then just go home. Donald Trump is not a sane man. And so that scares me.
What is also sad is that Trump and Israel ruined the chance of an Iranian revolution against the Ayatollah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there was going to be an Iranian revolution against the Ayatollah, to be completely honest with you. It would have needed to be much bigger and be coordinated with the military in Iran. That's another thing to get into. But thank you for the $5 dono. So the thing I'm worried about here is that Donald Trump has no sane response. And the thing that has been proven time and time again is he only knows how to do one thing, which is escalate. And so my worry here is that the guy who thought about nuking a hurricane and was only stopped by his defense secretary the first time he was in office, who has now surrounded himself with exponentially more yes men, my worry here is that he's going to hit the only button he really knows how to hit, which is escalation. And that is where I'm kind of I wish I could say that that's me being hyperbolic, but that's my genuine worry. He's already threatened to wipe out Iranian civilization. He has no actual moral compass that would say that would be like, oh, you shouldn't drop a nuke, Donald, don't do it. He is more dementia-addled by the day, and no one around him will say, don't do it. I guess where I'm at here is that his nature is to escalate. I'm worried about it. I'm worried about it. Ukrainian, I haven't seen any evidence of a coordinated resistance movement against the Ayatollah that would have been able to take on the IRGC. I have seen no evidence of that. I want to remind you, the IRGC is one of the largest standing militaries in the world, and their entire orientation is towards domestic deployment. They're not spread out. The question to that is why? Because all Trump cares about is power games. Like, all he cares about is power games. All he cares about is exerting power. Not including proxies, they have 150,000. Are you fucking stupid? Iran's military, if you take into account their active and their reserve personnel, is over 1 million. Or not over 1 million. Almost over 1 million. It's like 900,000 something. Like, please. If we start talking about their militias, their civilian militias who are trained to do combat, we're talking an even larger number. If we start talking about their proxies, it's an even larger number. So, like, please don't come and be like, oh, they have 150,000. They don't. They have way more than that. It's one of the reasons why putting boots on the ground in Iran is one of the stupidest, most laughable concepts anyone could ever have. I just, I'm worried about where this is all gonna go. And it is why you are starting to see a more urgent and genuine attempt to reach some kind of deal. Today, there was a lot of scuttlebutt in the background of, oh, we need to make a deal with Iran for real, which is now why the New York Times is running a story about the newly negotiated deal, which gives Iran control over the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, the active duty of the Revolutionary Guard Corps on its own is 570,000. And then they have 350,000 reserve. And then we're not talking about their police command, which is technically part of the armed forces of Iran. And we're also not talking about the... What is it called? Iran... Oh, is it the Basij? Yes, they are the volunteer paramilitary org that works with the IRGC. Yeah, the Basij has an estimated, has 20 to 25 million members and around 400 to 600,000 who are able to be called up immediately. You're wrong? I'm not. You can look that up. As described by officials familiar with the emerging accord, vessels heading into the Persian Gulf will transit a channel controlled by Iran and close to its coast. Ships leaving the Gulf will travel on a channel near Oman. Iranian officials say that while there will be no tolls charged, the agreement includes a service fee to cover the environmental impact of the shipping, security for the cargo ships and tankers, and staffing. Revenues would be divided equally between Iran and Oman, two Iranian officials said. But a U.S. official familiar with the negotiations said on Monday that the Iranian account was not accurate and said that any temporary routes established through the strait would not involve approvals or permission by Iran and would involve no tolls. I mean, that's, yet again, a pretty big gap in what the two sides are asserting. But either way, even if the United States is like, oh yeah, no, this set of affairs is only temporary, calling it temporary is only a way to save face. That's it. That's it. So, yeah, I mean, it's a colossal failure for the Trump administration, a colossal defeat for America. It's the most embarrassing military defeat the United States has ever suffered. It's truly, truly outrageous. And that's where we're at. So, the Iran war is done. Donald Trump just doesn't know it yet. So, all that being said, got anything out of this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the Iran war, I guess, in the comments. And get organized, folks. Join your local Dems, join your local DSA. And folks, if you need help getting started, join your local our Discord. And reach out to Gamergy for help with DSA. Reach out to Dragonfly for help with your local Dems. And folks, check out ImogeneOlivia.com. Gender euphoric lingerie designed from the ground up for trans femmes, tested with cis men, cis women, non-binary folks. It is comfy, sexy, non-tucking lingerie. Go check it out. ImogeneOlivia.com. Link down in the description. Let's keep on going. And remember, folks, don't ever do a ground invasion of Iran. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible idea.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather around. Twitch and YouTube and switchy streams. All that content is bursting the scenes. Politics, being flame more. Your sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord. Riverboat.